Welcome to the Soul Tribes, your new Sunday night vibe with lifelong friends who are twinning in both energy as holistic healers, psychic mediums, tarot intuitives, and executive life coaches. I am Amy Dascola, and
I'm Dara Jewett.
And we are the Soul
Tribes.
Yay! So welcome. How are you, Dara?
I'm blessed, my love. It's been such a beautiful, amazing week. How are you?
I'm doing great. I'm just so happy to be here and to speak on a wonderful topic that we are so excited to bring to you. And we have a wonderful guest for you today, Jim Locke, and you will meet him soon. So I'm going to leave it to Dara to tell us a little bit about what Jim is amazing at and something that hopefully we will all be tuned into and to learn more about. So Dara, take it away, sister.
Absolutely. So tonight is breathing and breath work. We really wanted to focus on highlighting Jim's amazing quality and talent as a Soma breathwork facilitator. And so tonight we're really going to talk about breathwork. And a lot of people are probably like, well, I breathe every day. Why do I have to have a special kind of breath to breathe? And we do breathe every day, but most people breathe very shallow. And so I'm sure you're not even really paying attention to as your body takes in oxygen. And the breaths are usually very shallow. And we hold our breath a lot and we don't get the real deep oxygen connection in our breath. And when we get this connection, it brings us to a greater sense of self-awareness. It helps us to connect to our higher consciousness. It also has a lot of other benefits such as reducing stress.
We all use that.
Reducing anxiety. And it really helps to influence our mental, physical, and emotional state as a whole. So basically, most breath work sessions are usually about 20 to 60 minutes, and it's sustained rhythmic breathing techniques. And it just really has so many different therapeutic effects. Like we said, the mind-body connection, but it also, helps to reduce blood pressure because, of course, that's really stemming in on that stress. The other really amazing thing about breath work is that the military uses it and has been using it for quite some time. So with POWs, exactly. So with POWs, when they get captured, of course, anything they can do to remain calm and collected is going to be their benefit for the greatest chance of survival. And so when we can have this rhythmic breath and really connect to this moment, we have more control over our mind, our anxiety, and our ability then, therefore, to create and control the situation instead of being a victim of the situation. So a lot of special ops use breath work. Also, a lot of trauma uses breath work to help with addictions and other types of blocks, shadow work, releases. So really, breath work is such an amazing modality to introduce into your life. And I'm sure that you've had experiences with breath work. How has breath work been influential in your life, Amy?
So definitely it was huge for me as a child. I suffered from anxiety attacks from the age of 6 years old up. So it was always, trying to find what was the fix, and not necessarily the fix, but how to even get through it, how to survive with it, how to not let it be, something that took over me. And I just couldn't do anything else other than panic. And as you were saying, sometimes when we're within the trauma or when we're within, a mindset, we have blocks and we're stuck there, right? So I found something that was, it really, this was the cure all for my anxiety and panic disorder. It's called biofeedback. And biofeedback is a way to tune into your body. And I realized how much control you have over your body, especially through breath. So gaining that control and kind of finding ways to bring my body to like a homeostasis, you know what I
Yes.
mean? Where it was like, okay, oh,
That
and
balance point. Yeah.
exactly. And a lot of people, breathwork practitioners, will talk about how it brings you even all the way back to that womb state. And it's so wild, like to think about that, but it really is true. And I started getting more into breath work. My anxiety crept back up, knocking on the door once the pandemic came. My anxiety, I've talked about it before, was at like an all-time high. And I was just like taken all the way to here. And when I landed back, my anxiety was there. And so something that I started doing in my practices was I found a Zoom breathwork group and started realizing, wow, okay, it's just like I'm 17, 18 years old again with the biofeedback. And I need this back in my life in order to gain control of the anxiety and in order to get back in tune with my body and understand that anxiety doesn't have control over me. I do, right? And
She
so
stepped into her higher conscious. She didn't
exactly.
become her thought. She stepped into her higher conscious. So the breath work allowed her to become that higher consciousness and
Yes.
control the thought.
Exactly. And so it helped me to not, continue with the spiral, or even instead shut it off. And I shut it down, and and one amazing breath work that I had was with our guest, and he actually moved me to tears, like literally moved me to tears in his breath work. So if you get a chance to take a class, I think you should. So Dara, how has breath work, and y'all know Dara, she's got some crazy spiritual experiences that she gets to share with us. So let me hear, sister, how has breath work been a part of your journey?
My first breathwork experience was with an amazing couple. It was Linda Starr Wolf and her, unfortunately, but gratefully that I was able to meet him, deceased Brad Collins, her late husband, who was also an incredible practitioner. And this couple was so in love and so dynamic. And I feel that their souls still are incredibly connected and always will be. It was one of those relationships that was truly inspirational in a spiritual way as well as a physical way, and just really showed you what is possible. And I did a shamanic breath work class with them in New York back, I believe it was in 2012. And it was pre my peace, light, and love journey. Brad came up to me after greeting and saying hello and said that she had had a connection and a message from her grandmother in a dream and a vision. And that was for me to find my tribe. And so I was very moved because he said that in order for me to completely unlock all of my potential, the key was for me to find my tribe, which of course now, as you all know, I'm so grateful I have Amy in my life, and we're creating this tribe for us all to unlock our higher selves. And we went into that breath work, and let me tell you, that was my first breath work ever, and I transcended to another dimension. I connect with her grandmother, I connected with my spirits, I connected with my sacred spirit animals. So breath work can take you to an extremely spiritual and healing journey, or it can take you to just a sense of interconnectedness. So there's different levels of breath work, different types of breath work. I did some breath work with shamans in Peru as well. And so there's a lot of different levels and different types, different meanings, different classes. And Jim is a Soma breathwork practitioner. He's actually from the Gold Coast of Queensland, Australia. So we are so excited to be vibing out with him, because as it's evening for us, it is actually morning for him. So for him to make time in his schedule, for us, we just feel extremely grateful and very blessed. As Amy mentioned earlier, both of us were first introduced to Jim. We were doing a cacao ceremony for, I believe it was the full moon. And it was so powerful. As Amy spoke, there was something in his ability to connect with us energetically, and his breathwork technique is very powerful. So virtual or in person, I'm sure in person is even more amazing. Jim is so gifted, and I really recommend anyone that is interested in trying breath work to reach out to him, because he can come all the way into your living room, sitting there in Florida, sitting there in New York, all the way from Australia virtually now, because we're all exactly interconnected. So it is my true honor for the Soul Tribes to introduce our brother, Jim Locke. Jim, welcome.
Hi, Jim. How are you?
I'm amazing. How are you guys?
We're good. We're so happy.
Yes, thank you so much for coming and joining us all the way from Australia.
Thank you for the invite. Truly humbled.
Well, good. We are just so glad that you're here. And as we were saying, he's literally a whole day ahead of us. So you really should listen to him, because he has more knowledge than we do, because he's a day ahead.
I'm in the future.
We have a man of the future for you.
Yes,
Who else
I
is
love
bringing
that.
you that? No one. No one.
Yeah, that should have been the father of the future. There you go.
A single father of the future, ladies.
Yes.
So now that, you know, we've blown up Jim's head and he feels really good about himself, let's start asking him some
Let's
questions.
vibe out with him and ask him a couple questions.
All right, Jim. So let me ask you, we like to ask all of our guests, how has your path led you to this exact moment where you are? How did you get here? Tell us.
Going for hours.
No big deal.
Just narrow it down. Yeah. So probably around 2013, I had my first awakening. There was little tiny signs that I just now looking back on, I wasn't aware of at the time.
Right.
But that sort of just propelled me into the personal development space. And something snapped and I'm like, oh, I need to dive more into this. So I just started learning more, doing the odd thing, but I was only just dipping my toe in and then taking it back out, still living my normal life. I'm like, oh, that sounds cool. I'm getting more knowledge. I'm sharing it with people that don't really care and don't really want to listen to me in my old group.
That's what it is, right? Yes.
Did the Tony Robbins thing, did a firewalk. I'm like, oh, wow, geez, I never really could do anything like that. I never even knew that was possible. And then retracted again. And then what led from that point was a loss of our father-in-law, who lived with us in the same place for 10 years.
So
and he'd
sorry.
seen the girls from baby to where they were, and we were all really close. And then 6 months after that, a whole friendship circle disbanded through some big drama that happened.
It sounds like the true awakening, because when you do awaken, the life tends to deconstruct, because that which is no longer serving you for the highest good needs to fall away, because he was starting to vibrate higher.
That friendship thing, like at the time when I was with the old friendship circle, I was still doing things and it didn't feel right. You know, I was doing things like from the old life, going out on the weekend, drinking, all those kind of things with the families, and something just didn't sit right. But that succession of events and led to the ultimate thing was when I went through the separation. So that all happened within probably just over a year.
Oh, wow. That was a lot.
Here's your awakening in full force.
Right. Whether you're ready or not, Jim, here it was. Yeah.
This is your initiation. This is what you've been building up for. This is what your soul came here to do. And then what led from that was, it almost destroyed me on so many levels. Just the the build, not knowing that was fully in my fight and flight, positive stress response, which I now know through the breath. And it's just like, yeah, it just hit me like a ton of bricks. It was like a full death and rebirth. And then all my family's in the UK. I had no friends around me because I'd just distanced myself. Because I thought, I don't need to be in that space. Something was saying, don't be around those people. This is, you need something deeper. So for about 3 weeks, I was in deep darkness. Like I was suicidal thoughts. I wasn't sleeping, all the stuff. And I just felt like a newborn baby that just didn't know what to do. Like even my job, it was like I didn't know how to do my job. And it was just like, wow, this is intense.
Yeah.
That is, and it can be so heavy.
How did you get out? I mean, what was that like?
What daily practices or techniques, were there certain things that you drew on spirituality wise? Were there daily practices, techniques that really helped to pull you out and transform your life?
No, because all the personal development thing, it was more like the motivation, all that. I didn't know. I wasn't practicing any spiritual things, meditation, breath work. I wasn't practicing any of that. So all the tools I learned were just like, they were like void almost.
Right.
But it's all come back now.
It felt very empty.
I felt so empty, just like a shell. Yeah, I felt like a failure. All the stuff that you tell yourself, and like a bad father, and how could I break a family up, and all the stuff. And yeah, a close friend that I'd been involved with through sound healing journeys, I hadn't spoke to in 6 months. She just came out of nowhere. She was like my guardian angel. She must have picked up on the frequency. And
wow,
the guys that I've been doing a self-leadership thing with, they're doing the last round of it. I believe you should be in there. So I'm just like bang, bang, bang. And it just all unfolded from there in such a huge way. And then that was the first thing with the breath. They mentioned Reishi mushroom that I'd never even heard of before, because I'd been to the doctor and they were saying, oh yeah, have some sleeping tablets. Took them once and that was it. Nah, my body's like, don't touch that. And then with the breath and the Reishi, bang, everything, it's like my whole nervous system just reset within a week. It was
wow, within a week?
That quick. I actually fully went in with the breath, and I was on the beach and I was breathing with such intention, and something clicked again. And then with the Reishi, it regulated my immune system and obviously calmed me down. And I slept like a baby all within that first week or so. And it was just like, oh my God, this is something out of this world. So
that's amazing, Jim.
So then how were you feeling after this week, and what was the direction that you propelled yourself to go from that point to want to actually become a practitioner?
Well, it just led from the session. That was the start of it. And then actually with the guys that were doing the course, I actually was held in a 45, it was probably about 3 hours sort of ceremony, which I'd never done before. And there was me and one of the guys was running it, and then 8 females in the room. So they took us on a deep breath work. He overcame a lot through breath work. And that time, I've never felt energy like it in my life. Like that had snapped me out of it, but then I was more ready to receive. And in that room, I actually removed my arm from the floor because it was stuck to the floor with just like, and it was like someone had hooked a battery up to my arm. There was that much energy moving, and the women were releasing and screaming. And I'm like, wow, never ever experienced.
Wow.
I was just like, I need to be in this space more, because it was just, I was fully feeling my emotions then, and fully feeling the depths of what I was going through, and normalizing it. And seeing all these people that had been it, and it's just like, wow. And then just from then on, it was like yeah, just jumping on Facebook Lives, and yeah, and it just went bang, 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 bang. And then I went to a big deep dive in Bali for a week. And that was all like 3.5 hour breathwork sessions. And I actually left my body in one of those. It was just like, wow. That all happened in 6 months. So it propelled me fully into it.
Absolutely. What was the name of your practitioner? Do you remember?
They're called Limitless Love. Yeah. So it's Jared Grantham
Limitless
and Abigail Bremner. Yeah. Which is where I met Ray Carmen.
Oh my goodness. How funny.
In that retreat. Yeah, we did a heart breath meditation, and we were like close. They got us to actually hold. So I was there with Ray, fully in her eyes, feeling her soul, we were crying,
Wow.
we were releasing, we were breathing. It's just like, that was one of the big times, you know, where you see past everything that you condition, and you
Yeah.
truly connect with someone on such a deep level. And from then on, I was just hooked. And I thought I need to share this with the world. So
We're so grateful that you
Yes,
are.
we
Wow.
are so appreciative. So, I mean, how would you, if you had to define it, how would you say that breathwork helped you to heal yourself?
it fully got me back in touch with who I am, the truth of who I am, the connection of my truth, rather than all the perceptions and the beliefs and everything that's instilled into us. It should look a certain way. It was just like, I tried to meditate before, but too much in the mind and thinking, and it just goes. But the breath's just like, bam, brings you back into your body. And it just, from then on, it was, yeah, I just felt so much more strength, connection to myself, to others. And yeah, it's truly beautiful.
I know a lot of men that breathwork really resonates with them in a different way than anything else has. And I'm not sure if it's just like a primal, but also I know many women that it's resonated with as well. But I can literally name a handful of men just like you where it has reset their lives and completely just changed everything. I'm just so happy for you that you found your truth. And now that it's literally, I mean, as I said, you were medicine for me. Like, you are able to spread your medicine that came from such a dark, gnarly place. You know what I mean? It's just so beautiful. And I really feel like it's like the lotus, you're finding that and finding your truth through the mud and the dirt. It's beautiful, Jim. So happy for you.
And
also, it's just beautiful to speak to when you were in that place. One of the things you did say is that it was a friend who pulled you out of that darkness and introduced you to breath work for you to begin your journey and to get hooked, and now to share this medicine with the world. So it also really speaks to the importance of our soul tribe and our community, and what community really means to you and to everybody. So how is being a single father, because you still obviously are, how is that being a single father really helped you to find your tribe and help your tribe to connect with you? And is there some dynamics that you think that have been beneficial or challenging? Because I love to hear from men that are such amazing fathers and really are there and present in their beautiful children's lives, and how they balance out all of the different energies and community in their life. So really, how is being a single father, helped you find your tribe?
Yeah, it was never, what's the question? What's the word I'm looking for? Well, I needed something deeper. Like I said, a lot of the guys I was hanging around with, they weren't on my level.
Right.
So I
Drinking buddies.
I connected more with females. I've always had a very strong connection with females beyond all of the guys I used to hang around with, the way they used to behave around. It's like, that's not right what you're doing, but I was never in my truth. So that deepened my connection with me and then with females. And I think that unraveled a lot of wounding that I had around the separation, around the kids that I'd held on for so long. So it just taught me how to love again, love myself more, love on them, know that it's, normalize everything. Tell someone that you actually love them without having to be meaning something. Like, why is this guy saying that to me? Does he want to do something?
Right. No, I'm not a creeper. I'm just in touch with myself. Sorry, you're not.
Yeah.
Let's get together and be in touch, right?
And then just finding the balance of the masculine and feminine energies in being okay to be in touch with your feelings, and that community that surrounds the encouragement of that. We have later another guest that will be talking about the man box and how unfortunately a lot of men are put into the stereotypical man box where they have to act a certain way, respond a certain way, feel a certain way. They're not supposed to cry.
Yeah.
And then even the social programming behind that. And so I honor you for really stepping out of the man box and balancing all the masculine and feminine energies, which I believe as women, we need to learn how to balance those energies as well. I think that is what will bring all of us into that greater sense of homeostasis.
Definitely.
Totally. And that's helped with the guys too. I've got brothers in my community that actually held our first collaboration breath event with just before Christmas. And it was just amazing. And just
Really?
we say
I
to each
saw you do the one on the beach too. That was amazing. He has these amazing breathworks on the beach. Oh my God, I want to go so bad. How did the one with the men go?
Yeah, it was
it was received well.
Very well, yeah. There was females and males in that, but it was good because it was almost 50-50, and nearly all the spaces, I mean, it's usually like 70-30. There's more females than men. So to have that, and for the first collaboration start, did we actually just pull that off? And we hadn't rehearsed it or nothing. It was just, we knew what we had to do. We knew it, and it just, you know, when you gel and you're in your flow and everything's just going great, it's just like, wow. So we're pumped for the next one, which is going to be in March. So yeah.
Awesome.
Okay.
Oh, that's so wonderful.
So everyone can, are you going to be doing virtual ones again as well?
Yes, down the track, definitely, yeah.
Good. We would love to attend. I mean,
absolutely.
Yeah, your medicine is serious.
Thank you.
So, Jim, thank you so much. We are just so happy to have you, as we said. And we're going to keep you around, if it's okay, for a little minute to show you how we do a little bit of what we call soul work. And Jim, I don't know if you know this, but I have a background as a teacher. So we always tease that like Miss Dascola comes back during certain moments and when she needs to, you know, get things in order. Yeah. So yeah, please hang out with us. And we every week have our little journals and pen. And these are, I use this as my manifestation journal and also for some soul work. So everyone get this. And we are going to be putting up the questions after this. So if you don't get to write them all down as we're doing it, don't panic. Of course, you can pause this and re-listen or re-watch. But the first question, and I feel like it's such a core for everybody in the world right now, not that this isn't a part of our daily lives, but right now it's really originating deep within us all. Where does stress originate in your life? And where does it resonate in your body? A lot of us get tension headaches, we get backaches, we get sciatic pain, we get clenched jaws, which can do all sorts of neck issues. But think to yourself, what is it and where am I housing it? And some people don't even realize that it's stress manifesting in different spots of our body. So take time to really dig deep and see where you land with that. Then I want you to speak to kind of what Jim has been talking about. What daily mindful practices can you commit to implementing this week? Not tomorrow, not next week. Well, yes, tomorrow, I'm sorry. Not next week, not in a year. Oh, I'll do it. Oh, I'll get, yeah, that's what I want to work on. No. What are you doing now? What are you going to put into
what are you
place?
going to commit? This week, you can do anything this week. You can try breath work. You can try meditation. There's 10,000 different types. You can try different types of dietary changes. You can try using crystals. You can try using oils. There's many different things. Of course, we spoke of breath work this week, but you want to get committed to yourself. So this soul work isn't just about you writing down the answers to what Miss Dascola is asking you, because it's really easy to say, oh, I could try meditation, and that's where it stops. But please write it down.
What are you going to do on Monday?
Sign your name. Like literally commit to it. You're committing to raising your frequency. You're committing to helping to heal yourself, to becoming everything that you've ever wanted to be and more, and healing your traumas. But if you don't do the work, literally it will not work. So
No,
you have
nothing,
to actually,
nothing will get
yeah,
done.
you
And
have
you
to
just
commit,
have
you have to do the action.
You just have to think to yourself, it starts with one step. I just want to tell a quick story. Randomly, we woke up this week and my Sophia, we have a piano in our house. My Sophia sits down and just says, I'm going to start to play the piano today. I'm like, okay, queen. I mean, she's 5 years old. God bless. All right. So I got the little piano book. Hand to God, she started teaching herself piano. So it takes one step to get somewhere very far.
Yes.
Okay, so the last question, this is so important, and so many of us, especially in the world right now, feel isolated. We feel alone. We feel like it's hard to find people that are like-minded, or even just to find a body, because so many people are in isolation right now. So what I want you to ask yourself is, who is in your tribe? And what does their support look like to you? Jim talked about how it just took one person, a close friend, to kind of get him into the exact avenue and path he needed to be in. Maybe you have that one friend. Maybe you have 5 really close. I always say I can never have more than a handful of people. If I have more than a handful, it's a handful. So who are your people that are cheering you on? Who are the people that are supporting you? Who are the people that are loving you? Because again, as Jim said, we're normalizing love. You know, it's not something scary or creepy or sexual. It's an energy, a feeling. It is a life force, right? So ask yourself, who are these people? Who's your tribe? Who can you lean on? And most importantly, who can you lean on hard when it's really a gnarly place, a hard place? So
and
please.
many of us do have a lot more people than we think. A lot of us take
Correct.
advantage of the people that are always there for us. How many of you can attest to taking out your stresses on those closest to you? And when someone asks you who's supporting you, you think about, oh, well, my girlfriend is, or well, my coworker is, but you don't really say, well, my mom is. Like, my mom's one of my biggest supporters. Honestly, shout out to my mom. Even watching this podcast, she's been amazing because she gives really honest, loving, caring feedback. She's part of my tribe, and I'm extremely grateful for her. And I'm not going to ever overlook that, because every single person in our life plays an important role, no matter how little or how much support. And sometimes we just take it for granted and we expect it. And so we stop being grateful for it. And so in Amy's question really today, really focus on everybody, like who's really there in the thick and the thin, who's really there in your soul tribe, and what does their support look like? And even if it's just helping to cook a meal, like Amy sometimes is super busy. And I know that Brian, her amazing husband, will help with dinner with Sophia. And it's not helping, of course, because they're married. But the thing is they trade off and they balance. If he's busy, then she helps cook dinner. So it's just, they support each other in this beautiful rhythmic harmony. Jim has his amazing people in his life that brought him into a world that he had never experienced, and loved him and supported him. And it wasn't scary and it wasn't weird. And through that comfort level, they were able to really grow, heal, and build something so beautiful together that now they're able to provide it for you, to help you also heal and find your tribe and really grow with them. So it's all about the community. So
It is.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
So
Thank you so much. It's amazing to vibe with you, Jim. You've been amazing.
Thank you.
And if you would like to connect with Jim, as you should, you can find him on Instagram and on Facebook, JimLocke, and it's a silent E. As a former teacher, I'm big on the silent E, so I appreciate So we have Jim Locke, and make sure, please keep tuning in. You can find me at Amy Dascola, Dascola Medium, on Instagram and Facebook. You can find me at amydascola.com. And Dara?
You can find me IG and Facebook, Dara Jewett, DARAJEWETT, as well as on my website, which everything is honestly on my Instagram. Let's just keep it easy. We also just would love for you to subscribe, share, like,
Please.
and
rate us, review us.
Rate us. That really helps, of course, build the tribe. And we have lots of goodies coming up for you guys. So stay tuned to all the fun that is coming.
We're going to be having monthly workshops. So we are very excited. And yes, find us. We are on iTunes, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and we are on YouTube. So thank you so much, Jim. It was an absolute pleasure to have someone from the other side of the world, from the future, Mr. Jim Locke. Okay.
And thank you all so much at home for vibing with us, and we'll see you very soon. Thank you. Bye.
Okay. Bye, Jim.
See ya. Bye.
Take care.